Hey everyone, welcome back to the exercise series in the Stubbornly Refused book right here. So always remember, this book can be found on a reading list, OCDrecovery.com, underneath the resource tab. This is a very important book, not just for OCD and anxiety recovery, for life in general. Again, I'm going through all the exercises, trying to apply different things I hear in calls, my personal experience, things I hear a lot, very common fears, especially fear, the fear of being stuck forever and all that. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below, email phil@ocdrecovery.com. Thank you to Phil for all the work he does. He works behind the scenes. We love to make fun of Phil. I like to make fun of Phil. It's fun, all right? Phil is very make-funnable. It's easy. It's the truth. But he's truly a great guy. He does a lot for the company, and I'm very thankful. So, exercise 8. Try to remember an event from earlier in your life when you felt horrified, depressed, or self-hating. Then, see if you can figure out your rational beliefs, your irrational beliefs, that you held on to them and probably let you feel, have you feeling emotionally upset today. Very, very similar to exercise 4. Very, very important. There's some big misconceptions that Rob and I, Momin, Sam, all of us, that we discredit PTSD. We're just saying that PTSD latching mechanisms in most cases are very, very similar to OCD. There's a belief, there's a latching moment, and whether symptoms go away or not doesn't matter. Let's say you have complex PTSD and you'll have these lingering symptoms forever. It doesn't mean the beliefs and the principles from this book do not help you. It's the same thing. If you have a diagnosis of cancer and you're going to die, these principles for unconditional life acceptance are still beneficial for your recovery process. So these are some examples. My parents often made me wear ill-fitting hand-me-downs. I feel so ashamed that I often stayed home and refused to play with kids. I must not wear these ill-fitting clothes and to be laughed at. How awful and shameful. Okay, so one for myself. One I see a lot. Me and my mom did not get along when I was growing up. My mom and my dad were better off as friends. They never divorced, but they separated. And I think I was 16 at the time, maybe 17, and they were separated all the way up until my dad died 10 years later. And my mom and I didn't get along a lot. My mom was a tough raiser. She was from Brooklyn, in the 60s and 70s. My father was just not home a lot because he was out making a lot of money. He was an attorney. So my mother raised me and my sister. I held a lot of grudges against my mother, but the way that my mom raised me was absolutely, I would want no other way for my mom to raise me. She instilled good values in me that I don't hold on to those values tightly. Your values can always change if you want them to. It's just a belief system. But I have the good perspectives on discipline, work ethic from my mom. No bullshit. There was no, if I got in trouble, my mom never said to the disciplinarians at school, it was called the planning room, which was detention. Oh, my son didn't do that. He would never do that. My mom would walk in and she'd be like, Nicholas? Yeah, he did it. And he organized the whole thing. How do I know that? Because he's a scumbag. So it sounded funny at the time, but it was the best way. A lot of people are unfortunately raised. There's a lot of mollycoddling, there's pros to that in certain ways, right? You want your kids to feel safe. I can't imagine that. I don't have kids. Easier said than done when you don't have kids. I'll be the first person to say that. But discipline with children is critical, okay? In a balance. I'm saying you have to throw them against a wall or something to discipline them. Or, my mom, I got hit with the wooden spoon a lot. The Italian wooden spoon, my friends, hands on the glutes, boom, all the time. One time I tell you, my mom launched a lunchbox at my head because I think I called my sister the C word. That is what it is. I called it the C word and used another derogatory term that I learned from the movie, Not Another Teen Movie. My mom was like, what'd you say? Crank. So, but again, you can have your own opinions on that. I love the way I was raised. It was amazing, and I'm very thankful for that. So, another example is my teachers treating me uncaringly and unfairly when I was a child. That makes me very angry and rebellious. Anger continues today because of lack of compassion for yourself and other people and belief systems. There is no chronic anger without poor beliefs. I'll say that again. There is no chronic anger without poor beliefs. How do I know? You're talking to someone who extremely suffered with anger. I held grudges. I was rebellious. I hated the world. I hated everyone. I hated people that told me what to do. And I had to change all those belief systems if I wanted to get to where I am today. So another rational belief is irrational. Some people still treat me uncaringly and unfairly today. They absolutely should not. These people are thoroughly rotten people, and I hope they get deserving punishment. That's one of the number one beliefs that we see in politics. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, left, right, upside down, libertarian, progressive, liberal, Republican. It does not matter. It's the same thing. If you block out the words and you plug in whatever words they're saying for the other people, they always say the same thing. Not saying you can't have views on politics. It's just an easy target for me to show people how the beliefs that you hold are, guess, you know who thinks they're right? Whatever side you agree with. I mean, the people on this side think they're right, and the people on this side think they're right. So the people that were verbally assaulting you in school and calling you a loser, the bullies, they thought what they were doing was the right thing. They were like, maybe I want to toughen this kid up. This kid's weak. Let's call him a loser. I don't know. It's whatever they, or, you know, and then the bully was like, I hate them. And I'm not saying certain outcomes aren't better, right? We want to stop people from bullying that, but I can see why they would think that that was an okay thing. Plus the self-hatred of rejection, and they bully people to make themselves feel better, et cetera, et cetera. Whenever you think your early experiences have made you conditioned or disturbed today, recall and relive these experiences and figure out your rational beliefs, especially your rational beliefs. So now me and my mom have a great relationship. I didn't talk to my mom for 3 months when I was suffering in 2020. She was devastated. She cried every single day, and I just didn't give a shit. Because me and my mom had a lot of falling out. I hated my mom, and she probably hated me. And now we have such a good relationship. And I'm going home to see her next week. I'm very, very excited to go home. And guess what changed? There's one thing that changed, and one thing only. Well, two things. And it is one. My beliefs about my mom and the situation, the way she raised me, and compassion. And that's how I got to where I am today. And that was important. And that's just the end of that exercise. So remember, this book is very important. Just look at the way that your book does not need to look like this. But when I look through people's books and there's nothing, I mean, every page that are on right here, I mean, I remember these are things that I would just, you know, and just anything. I mean, I've also read this book about 5 times. So every time I went back, I reread it. I actually reread the book again last week for the first time in 2 years, just from some reminder stuff with coaching, because it's important. And it was funny. I was reading things and like, oh, I forgot about that. And I read the book with my schedule in about 10 days. So you can read the book. Look, if you read 15 pages a day, you're done with the book in... If you read 20 pages a day, you're done with the book in 10 days, right? The book is what? So 210, like basically. So get it done. Do what's necessary. This will change your life. The principles in the book by themselves won't change their life, but when you apply them, when you think thoroughly about your beliefs, that is how you get better. Thank you again, Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for everyone always reaching out. We're very, very appreciative of the support. This is one of the most meaningful things in my life, and I thank all of you. Without the support on the YouTube channel, we would not be where we are today. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day.